on YouTube. Don't know what you're doing, but it's 7 p.m. Friday. A bitch is really tired, but that's okay because this combo gonna be fired. I just came from the gym and took a shower, and I was like thinking earlier today, and okay, men keep talking about this statistic, right? Men keep talking about this statistic of like how by 2030, 50% of women are going to be like child free or childless and like unmarried. And I feel like men, like I feel like they look at it and they try to frame it as if like, oh my God, like humanity is going to like suffer. Like they look at it as if like something is wrong with us because it's like, why aren't they going to get married? Why aren't they going to have children? And it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of feel as though, like, over time, like, men kind of force your hand for you to not want to marry them and have children with them. Like, honestly, like, I honestly feel as though any woman that decides that she doesn't want to get married and she doesn't want to have children, like, I really feel as though she probably gave it a fair chance. Like, honestly, I really feel as though she probably gave it a fair chance. I know I did. Okay. I know I gave it a really fair chance, honestly. I really genuinely gave it a fair chance with men. Like, honestly. Okay. Because the thing about it is that, like, thankfully, because, like, the thing about it is that, like, with my channel, because I'm on TikTok too, I'm on TikTok and on YouTube, I'm doing both live streams at the same time. But the thing about it is this. Okay, so I never stayed in a relationship long enough for me to like have like what men would claim to be like emotional damage. You know what I'm saying? And it's because like I get annoyed easily, honestly. Like I get annoyed really easily. And it's just like the reason why it was like kind of easy for me to decenter men is because like at least with my experience, like men are annoying. Like I don't even like hate them or anything. It's just like they annoy me because they're like little children and like I already don't like children, right? I already don't like children. So it's like when I have like a grown big adult next to me that is literally like they have a child inside of them, right? They have like a child inside of them and like in their mannerisms and in their thought process. I just kind of think to myself, I'm like, I can't like handle this. Like, this is too much for me to have to, deal with. And like, I kid you not, I fought that feeling for so long when I was dealing with men. Like, I genuinely really, really was like, okay, maybe it's the man, right? Like, maybe I will find a man that like isn't going to annoy me. Maybe I will find a man that like I'll actually be able to tolerate. And then at one point, I just got to the point where I'm like, dude, no, like I really do get annoyed with him. And like I really do have a short fuse, particularly when it comes to men. And I feel like if it's not the fact that they just straight up annoy you, I feel as though like, okay, there's like the hurt part of it too, right? Like women will be optimistic because people are always trying to tell women like, no, like you need to be more optimistic, you need to keep your options open, and like you need to keep your heart full of love and stuff like that. And it's like I feel as though women take that advice and then it's like they keep taking the advice over and over and over and over and over, and like every single time like their heart will get stepped on by these men, even when like they're doing all the things that people are telling them to do. Because that's the thing too, like I feel as though the advice, okay, the advice that women are given when it comes to like finding like the perfect partner and like the perfect person, essentially they give you this advice as if there's like some code to crack, or as if it's some like secret formula for you to like find a great man and then be in a relationship with him and then he like treat you perfect and then like he doesn't break your heart. Like I feel as though there's like always this thing being sold to women. And then it gets to the point where it's like women follow the advice and then they realize that the shit doesn't work. And then it literally forces them to decenter men because they're like, how long do I have to do this shit? Like, how many dates do I have to go on? Right? How many freaking D's do I have to freaking hop on? Right? Like, how many different men do I have to have the same experience with before I find the right person? And it gets to the point where it's like, this shit is not worth it. Like, honestly, it just gets to a point where it's like, this shit is not worth it. Okay. Like, the effort, like, I just got to the point where I'm like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, honestly. Even when, even when I was like doing sprinkle or whatever, and like I was dealing with men for their money and whatnot and stuff like that. Yeah, like, I mean, money came with that, but like also that shit drains your energy because at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said. Like, a lot of the men they were really annoying me, right? They were really annoying me. And like, they had very like immature, childish tendencies. Okay. And that tend to bother me a lot. And then like they always just seem so needy. And so it got to the point where, like, thank God I was in school. Thank goodness I was in school. So, like, I didn't have to like stay in the club or like, constantly have to rely on a man to provide for me. But it got to the point where like I had a sugar daddy and I was like, fuck this. Thank you, Anon. It got to the point where I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm over this stuff. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and endure all of this shit just so that like a man can give me money. Like, even that was like, they couldn't pay me enough to tolerate them. Okay. So I had a sugar daddy at one point and I was like, fuck this. Right. Um, I can't freaking do this. Like, I can't keep doing this. And so, believe it or not, actually, when I did sprinkle, believe it or not, y'all, listen to this. I got so frustrated of sprinkle, right? I got so frustrated of sprinkle with my sugar daddy. I cut my sugar daddy off and decided to take a busing job at Panera Bread. I didn't want to go back to the club. Those men were draining me. Those men were annoying me. The girls were pissing me off because the girls were like shortchanging themselves so much. I literally quit going to the club, cut off my sugar daddy, and literally while I was in school, I quit all of that and I took a fucking minimum wage job at Panera Bread. Okay, that I had a fucking enough. Right? I literally chose to clean bathrooms. I literally chose to clean bathrooms and swap out coffee and bus tables because that's how annoyed I was with it all. And like I said before, it wasn't like these men were bad people. They weren't assholes or anything. Okay? It wasn't like they were assholes to me and like left me with all this emotional damage. It just got to the point where I'm like, I can't do this. Like, can't I can't do this shit anymore. And so pretty much at that point, I was almost done. I was almost done with college. And thankfully, thankfully, because I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for my last semester at college, right? I don't know how I'm gonna pay for my last semester at college. One of my ex-boyfriends, bless his heart, he actually ended up giving me the $3,000 that I needed for me to finish my last semester of college for me to be able to get my first degree, right? So, yeah, I just got to the point where I just said fuck it. And then and so then at that point I didn't deal with men for a long time, right? I didn't deal with men for a long time. So then I got my degree, started working, started making money with my degree. And then I went out and then I met this guy and like I really wasn't I wasn't really into him, because I met the guy at the club or whatever. Anyway, long story short, later down the line, we ended up getting into a relationship. And then I went back to college, right? Because I got my first degree and then went right back for my second degree because I wanted to make more money. So then we got into a relationship. And then once I started making more money, I got a place that was better than his. I started making more money than him. And so I broke up with him. And then I took a few years off of being single. And then my last relationship was last year, the beginning of last year. My last relationship was, and That was it. That was my final straw. I literally made a promise to myself. I literally was like, listen, if this relationship doesn't work out, I'm done dating. Like, I am going to literally decenter men from a dating aspect. Okay. So he paid for everything. Like, this is the thing. Like, this is why I said, like, I feel as though sprinkle, sprinkle, like, if you're actually doing sprinkle, sprinkle, and like you're actually dealing with men like on a regular basis, it's only a few women that can keep that shit up for like a long, extended amount of time. Right. Because, like, my ex-boyfriend, like, he was spending money. Like, he definitely was spending money on me. Swear to God, he was spending money on me. But he was fucking annoying. He was so fucking annoying. I'm like, the money isn't worth it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, um, essentially I was like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. So him and I got into it, and then I ended up breaking up with him. I ended up breaking up with him. And so then after that, I had a sneaky link, right? I had a sneaky link. I had a friends with benefits because I was like, okay, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? I just will only deal with someone just every once in a while. And I know y'all on YouTube know the story. I know you guys know that. Um, but essentially, but essentially, I have to hold on. I'm blocking this person. This person always comes on the live stream here on TikTok, and like, I don't know if it's a woman, but like, she gets on my nerves. So anyway, so yeah, and so then guess what? That ran its course because then he got annoying, right? So it's like, I feel as though for me, for decentering men, and like, I would love to know y'all's experience. Please let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments. Like, what was your breaking point for you to decenter men? Like, were they mean, or were they financially abusive, or were they annoying, or you just feel like it was a waste of time? Like, what got you to the point where you just kind of felt like, I'm just going to decenter these men, right? I have zero unforeseeable income. Should I waitress at the strip club? I have waitressing experience. Hell yeah, I would waitress at the strip club. Hell yeah, I would. I would. And you're pretty, and you're in Miami. If, like I said before, like I tell women all the time, if you are a woman, it doesn't even matter your age. Okay? Doesn't matter your age. As long as you know how to put yourself together, you should be going to work at a place where you can make money, and um it's going to be male heavy, because essentially you're using your beauty as currency. Like, if you know that a lot of men that are going to go there, like, especially if like there's a hangout after work in like a nice, very affluent area, where like white collar workers go to, the strip club is very popular for blue collar workers who don't mind spending a lot of money. um those are all really, really good. Those are all really, really good, like, options for you to be able to use your beauty and have your beauty work for you and be able to make money. You are my breaking point. And no, I don't have any children. Girl, hell no. I don't have no children. God, no. Mm-mm. That was always a rule of mine too. Whenever I dated men, they had to have enough going on where they did not want children, and like, actually, like, children was really going to ruin everything for them. So every man that I dealt with, they didn't fucking want children, because I didn't want I didn't want children. Mm-mm. Oh my God, I'm actually in temporary restraining order child with him now because he won't accept my no. Yes. And then my thing about it is that, like, it's like one of those things where the men just, like I said before, it just is unfortunate, because I really do feel like they force your hand at decentering them. Like, I really wish men would like really understand that, like, women aren't just, the way a lot of men think of it. A lot of men feel as though it's a control thing. I feel as though a lot of men think that, oh, like, we want to, because, okay, this is how I'm going to put it, right? So the last live stream that I did, when I was talking about how men claim that they have access to marriage. Okay, the reason why they claim that they have access to marriage and women have access to sex is because they're using marriage as leverage, okay? They're not actually consciously deciding if they want to get married or not. Most men don't want to get married, right? Most of them are not dreaming to get married. They have the benefit to say, I have something that you want from me. And so I am going to use that to my advantage and I am going to dangle it. So a lot of men that are like getting very angry with women decentering men, a lot of them feel as though it's a projection. They're projecting the idea that because they use marriage as leverage, we are using relationship and like sex as leverage against them. When in reality, they really have just forced our hand to decenter them. Like, it has nothing to do with us being like, ha ha, like you can't get any, ha ha. Like, no, that has nothing to do with it. It really is just there's nothing in it for us. Like, there's really nothing in it for us. And it's like you go from man to man to man to man to man. And like I said before, like they can do really nice things for you. Like they can spend the money, or like they can do nice gestures, or like they can like do compliments, but it's just who they are, like in their nature and at their core. It just gets to a point where it's just like, I can't handle that. Okay. I can't handle with what comes along with like how men think, how men carry themselves and how men operate. Like I just can't handle that. And if that makes me crazy, then oh well. But I just can't handle dealing with men. I don't have the ability. It stresses me out. That was another thing I had noticed. I started paying a lot of attention to how I would be when I was in close proximity to men. Hi, I'm so glad all of my regulars are back in the chat here on YouTube. Because the last time I was on here so early. My regular people weren't in here, and I was like, oh, it's so different in here. Um, but it's one of those things. It's really one of those things where I need a moderator on TikTok. I do. I need a moderator on TikTok because child, the men get so mad for whatever reason. But um yeah, I just feel as though that I was having the same experience over and over and it just got boring. Oh, and then another thing too I noticed when I was dealing with these men, I couldn't accomplish as many things, right? I couldn't accomplish as many things. I started noticing that everything that I was accomplishing, I was actually accomplishing the most stuff when I was single. Like honestly, I literally started noticing. I'm like, wait, I'm able to do everything that I actually aim to do when I'm single. It's only when I'm in a relationship that it's actually harder for me to accomplish things, or I was lacking focus, right? I was lacking focus because it's like another thing too is that I feel as though like that's the thing too. So if you're a woman, this is important. I feel as though if you are a woman who you have more anxiety and like you're more so anxiously attached, I feel as though your brain is always going to be thinking about like, oh, like is he cheating? Like is he cheating on me, or is he talking to somebody else? And like your mind will be more preoccupied over how you can control the situation based off of what like you might assume the man might be doing. And that takes a lot of energy away from you. Like that takes so much energy away from you. And it's like, I don't have time to deal with that. Like, I don't have time to be draining energy from myself, like worrying about why he's acting different, or normally he says, I love you. And then today he didn't say, I love you. And like, what's that all about? Or, him just having some like he's a habitual person. And then all of a sudden, like his habit changed out of nowhere, and then like asking myself like, okay, well, where did that come from? Or why is he acting like that? And it's just like, no, like I can't. I can't be able to do that. Or on the opposite end, when you're very detached, right? When you're very detached, because this was the issue that I had. So I would be very, very detached, right? And then like let's say that like I would notice a habitual change, a change in habit from the man. Okay, I would notice it, but I wouldn't say anything, because a lot of the time these men don't even want to hide the fact that they're cheating. They don't want to hide that they are doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. A lot of the time they actually will want to make you be very aware of what they're doing because they're looking for your reaction, right? They want to be able to see how you're going to respond, because most men get off on that, right? Most men are able to get off on that. And so essentially, I would mind my business and I wouldn't be caring, like, whatever. Like, you're going to start acting weird, whatever. I have my own stuff I have to focus on. Oh, well, did you notice? Like, I started going to the gym, or did you notice I started eating healthy or whatever? And I'm like, okay, even when you're detached, they like I said before, it's the immaturity. Okay, it's the immaturity. Like, when they don't get the response that they're hoping to get, they're going to try to still figure out a way that they can still get that response from you, right? So that was like a struggle that I was having in relationships. I wouldn't too much focus on like them cheating and things like that, because for the most part, I'm like, they're going to do what they want to do regardless. I need to stay focused on what I have going on in front of me, right? But it was just always like this constant thing where they constantly are looking for validation based off of your reaction, and based off of your emotional investment into them. And I'm just like, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't have enough time to be giving all of this emotional energy into men or whatever. Someone asked, "Do you wish you were a lesbian?" No. I don't wish I was a lesbian. Aw, thank you, Angelica. Yes, and that's another thing too. Another thing that I noticed that impacted me in a decenter men. Men are boring, okay? I only had one boyfriend, right? One boyfriend. Oh, I got a super chat. What's not talked about is how much time men suck from a woman. In fact, the more focused you are, the harder they work to send you off course ASAP. So I noticed that when I was in college. Both programs I was in, I noticed that both times. So one of my really good friends that I ended up making in college for my first degree is soon. So she's still married to him, but like they kind of were like separated or whatever. So she got married really young. She had two children very, very young with him. Like, when I say young, young, she had her first baby at 14. Okay. She had her first baby at 14. And then I think she had her second baby at like 17, right? So she stayed with him, and then they ended up getting married when they were like 18 or something, right? So he ended up having a blue collar job, which, like, it ended up making a lot of money. And so he was the provider, right? It was like your typical traditional marriage or whatever. And so, and she, like I said before, because she had babies so young, by the time that she was in school with me, I think she was the age that I'm at. So I'm 32 now, and I was in the X-ray program when I was like 25, right? So I think she probably was around 32. And so I remember she was like, I have to wake up. She was like, I have to wake up. Listen how crazy this is. Okay. I want you to listen how fucking crazy this is. Okay. So we would have to go to clinical. We have to go to clinical like 4 days a week. Okay. Like 7 to 3:30. And then we still had to go to class for lab. Right. And then like you still had to study. And then mind you, she's married with two kids on top of all of our workload. Right. She would be like, I have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day. Cause at the time her husband was working midnight shift. She literally said that she would have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to cook her husband fucking dinner and drive to his job and drop it off to him at 3 a.m. when he was on break. Like, could you fucking, like, could you? I shook her. I literally shook her. I was like, what the are you doing? What the are you doing? Like, we have an exam at 8 a.m. and you are up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, not studying. Okay, not studying, cooking dinner for this man and then dropping it off to him. Like, I was like, this can't be fucking real. This can't be fucking real. Y'all, I whipped her into shape so quickly. I whipped her into shape so quickly. I was like, that this isn't normal. Like, that this isn't normal, right? For you to like do this. She was like, you don't understand. She was like, because the thing about it is that he wasn't a nice person. Essentially, he was financially abusing her. He was financially abusing her, right? So she felt obligated to do all of these things because she's like, I don't have any money, right? She was like, I don't have any money. So she was like, at any point, he could just decide that if I don't do this thing, like he would make threats at her and he would threaten her life and like he would make it very hard for her or whatever. So I was like, girl, I was like, dude, fuck this. Right. I was like, fuck this dude. Y'all, I had her have a whole phase. Cause he was a serial cheater. He was always cheating on her. Always freaking cheating on her. I was like, no. There was this guy that I was dealing with. The guy had a friend and the guy was super, super attractive. I was like, you guys will mesh well. I was like, y'all will mesh well. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, we got to get you cheating, girl. We got to get you cheating back. So, so literally, I had her cheating back, y'all. I did. I had her cheating back. I did. I had her cheating back. And honestly, she actually did start to gain like a sense of herself when she realized that she had free will. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, this is absolutely crazy. So the thing that sucked is that like I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for her because her husband, the closer she got to graduating, the more outlandish her husband started getting. And it sucked because actually I ended up having to withdraw my friendship for her from for some time because her husband was like trying to get me in. Her husband was essentially trying to like get me into their drama and be like, you know, I know she's hanging out with you and you're a bad influence and yada yada yada. Like he did not like me. But so here's the thing. All of like my homegirls or like my past girlfriends, when they have boyfriends, their boyfriends fucking hate me. Their boyfriends fucking hate me. My goal is always to make like a no good nigga that is the boyfriend of one of my friends hate me. Like my goal is to make you hate me because I'm going to knock some sense. I'm going to knock some sense into the woman that is in front of me. Like I'm going to knock some sense into her because what the fuck? Like I'm not going to just sit here and let this happen to you. Like no, we got to change some things. So her husband was like trying to involve me and stuff and he's dangerous. Okay, the man is dangerous. He literally was crazy. So I was like, girl, listen. She started struggling in school because she's the thing that sucks. She was like a top performing college student, top performing student in our program. And you could just tell that she was more anxious. She couldn't focus. She had no clarity. The closer she got to finishing, the more he kept fucking up her mind, right? The more he kept fucking up her mind. And then a part of me did kind of feel bad because the thing that kind of sucked, like one thing I kind of do regret with the whole situation is that, okay, so because like I was like kind of putting her on, it was two men that she ended up dealing with, right? And the thing about it is that because she had all of like the trauma from her husband, she kind of was like, I don't want to say trauma dumping, but she kind of had the rescue, like the damsel in distress mindset, right? So what would happen is that she was like all doe-eyed over these men that she was like sleeping with, right? Like she actually was growing a liking for them, and then she had found out that like they were pieces of shit too. So that further kind of pushed her into a spiral, unfortunately. So the thing that sucked is that she ended up flunking a semester. So she was flunking a semester, but so normally when you flunk a semester, you literally have to wait a whole year from when you flunked, and you have to start the program from where you last flunked it. Thankfully, like the gods were looking out for her. Like she really was divinely protected because I really think that like our program directors like really saw that like she's a good student. um she's been on top of her shit. It must be something like impacting her heavily to like have her start performing this badly. So they didn't make her wait a year. They actually did not make her wait a year. They were like, no, they were like, what we'll make you do is we'll just make you wait like one semester. We'll make you wait one semester, and then you can cover the semester that it is that you flunked, and then you could graduate. So she ended up graduating a semester behind us, right? So Yeah, like I literally seen it. I literally seen it in plain sight at how like men really will sabotage you when you are on a like really, really good trajectory. Okay. And then there was another, so then the second program, when I went to school for ultrasound, the same exact thing happened to another woman, right? So I want to say she was probably in her 40s, and her children, they're doing a lot better now. They're doing about a lot better now. Um, Child, she quit dealing with her husband and then met like another abusive dusty. Like she'd been through so much, and like she never healed her trauma, and like she just, I had to teach her all over again. Okay, I had to teach her all over again because she was gonna lose her life. Like I kid you not. Like it was to the point where I was like, "Girl, you do understand that like the current man that you're dealing with, like you continuing to dealing with this man that you're dealing with. I kid you not. Like this is a matter of life and death. Like." You're dealing with someone who literally has the capability to unalive you. And the guy was in jail. Like the guy literally went to jail. And I think he was DL. It's not even a think. He was fucking DL. I was like, girl, you do not understand. Like this man will kill you. Like he's going to do something to you if you don't leave this situation. And he literally tried to unalive her. He literally tried to unalive her. And that's when she finally realized that like, oh my God, like this is, I need to walk away like from this guy because this guy is dangerous, right? So she ended up moving away from our hometown, and she ended up quitting her job, and like her sons ended up moving and they got a really good job in Texas. And so she is like living like with her sons, and like essentially her two sons are taking care of her. Like they're financially taking care of her right now. Opinions on divesters. Okay, this is what I think. This is what I think about the divester movement. Okay, I grew up with nothing but white men. No, it wasn't in Gary. It was in Portage. It was in Portage. Okay, this is what I think about divesters. I grew up with white men. Okay, I grew up with white men. I've dated like every type of, no, not every type of white man. Hell no. Mm-mm. Not every type of white man. But I've dated like older white men that have money, you know what I mean? Yeah, like there are perks, like honestly, like I mean, if I had to choose, I would choose one of them over a black man if I could be completely honest, but it's still a man. It's still a man. And like I said before, they're all fucking annoying. Okay? They're all fucking annoying. No matter what color or shade or race you get them in, they're all fucking annoying. Okay, like it don't matter. I got to the point where I'm like, that's why I said like it's the same thing over and over and over and over, no matter what race you date, no matter what age you date, no matter what profession they are, no matter where they're from, no matter what language they speak. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. I'm like, I can't do this shit anymore. Honestly, divesting, in my opinion, divesting is you being lactose intolerant and still eating ice cream. We're just eating a different flavor of ice cream, even though you're fucking lactose intolerant. Like it's going to be the same shit coming out. Your stomach is still going to hurt, even if you choose a different flavor ice cream. Shit is still going to end up the same exact way, honestly. They all say the same thing. They all lead the same way. I would even go as far as to say, like, when they switch, the switch that they have, even the timing of when they start acting funny and like they start getting lazy in the mask drop, I would say even that's the same. The timing for that is the same. Like it's generational. Like every man is like born with some like black book that he's like given, and it's like this is the patriarchy black book. Like this is the patriarchy playbook, and they all have the same playbook that they all use. And it's kind of the point where it's like, okay, y'all done use the same playbook for like 3 generations. Like it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, we're going to find out eventually that you all are saying and doing and acting the same goddamn way. Like, it's just, I've been trying to tell you 75 plus, wealthy, blind, deaf, and paralyzed. Exactly. Info downloaded at birth. Like, it's insane. It's insane how they all act the same way. Like, oh my God, it's so annoying. It is. It's so annoying. This is why women are opting out of dating. Yes, because it's the same thing. Any women who does view it as worth it with zero regrets, I feel as though dealing with a man, you're just going to sign up for regrets. Like, the timing may be different, right? The timing may be different of when you get disappointed. It may be 2 years from now, it may be 10 years from now. But at some point, I feel like no matter what, like you said, Davina, unless he's old and dying and can't walk or talk or speak or see or hear, that's the only situation where you're not going to have any regret dealing with them, right? They need to be a mannequin. All right. They need to be a mannequin with a pulse with money. I opted out after the fourth time I was ghosted. Oh yeah, that would have been more than enough for me to say fuck this. I'm decentering them. That's why Sheer says you need to make it worth your time. They're going to make you regret it, so you might as well line those pockets. And then the thing about it is this: like I roster dated pretty much most of my life. I always had dated with a roster, and then like whatever need I would see for whatever man in my life to be able to roster date. That's essentially like the purpose that they would serve in my life. But then it gets to a point where it's like, well, fuck, like I have 5 people annoying me now. It is just like, ugh. Like I said before, for me personally, it's just after a while that shit got draining. That shit got draining. Exactly. I just started investing in myself. I'm like, this is just too much. This is too much. Mannequin dating. I wish I had opted out in college. What a waste of time. Like, can you believe like there are women that didn't get their college degree because like they had their whole life centered around a man and like the man sabotaged everything. Like, honestly. Yeah. Because the way I look at it is this is like when I invest in myself, I have a more controlled return on my investment. When you invest in yourself, you have way more control over the outcome. Back in school now for that exact reason. I'm definitely gonna talk about like Brittany Renner and B Simone. Like, this is what annoys me. This is what annoys me as like a retired 304. Okay. This is what annoys me about being a retired three. This is what annoys me about when I see women wanting to rebrand. Not so much B Simone, but Brittany Renner. This is what frustrates me. Okay. Once once you like decided that like you're gonna be like a villain, right? And like you're going to use men for like money and like you're gonna be a baby mama of like a basketball player and stuff like that. Men already like know they're going to size you up already. And everyone knows you, like everyone knows Brittany Renner. So men already know like what she would come along with, which means that like once men see that you rebranded yourself and you're falling right into patriarchy because now you're converting to Islam, which is 100% male centered, okay? Men are going to now see you as prey. they're now going to see you as essentially like you're going to be a man's next victim. Because when you do that rebrand, men are like, yes, like she's desperate, she wants somebody. Um, they understand that you're vulnerable. They understand that you're vulnerable once they see you do that rebrand, right? And it's like, and then B Simone essentially, if B Simone doesn't like wake the fuck up, she's gonna be the Black Wizard Liz, essentially. She's gonna find herself in a situation like the Wizard Liz, because B Simone is still thinking that like a man and a children is supposed to complete the picture of how her life looks. And so essentially, I feel as though B Simone is like also starting to give off that energy, because that was fucking weird. Like, why are you doing an interview with DaBaby? We already saw how DaBaby treated Danny Lay. Like, we already seen how DaBaby treated fucking Danny Lay. And now you don't interview people in your fucking bed. Like normally you're gonna interview people on like a couch. And so now you're interviewing DaBaby on your goddamn bed, talking about, oh my God, like we're playing footsies or whatever, and da, 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 and it's like, girl, like you're gonna be Danny Lay number 2. I thought he went extinct too, but B Simone done gave him a platform again. I have a beautiful Black friend converted to Islam, and she's living it up with her new husband, high level money, but I hope she's okay. Yes. Yes. Honestly, my biggest hope, like this is the thing, my biggest hope for like any women that are like dealing with men and like they're receiving money, I really just hope that like it's gonna sound like pessimistic, honestly. It's so rare for me to believe that like men are going to give their money and like not have just an ounce of like some controlling aspect of it when they view them giving women money. Like it's a very, very small percentage of men who are going to be not only generous with money, but they are going to be generous with money and like not see it as a like way to be able to control or like financially abuse you. You know what I mean? Like that's always why when I have sugar daddies and stuff, because it's like I never let it get to that point. And like, that's the reason why I gave up like my sugar daddy that I had for like a long time, because I started being able to see that like he was like trying to like use like giving me money as like a form of like control or like a form of like leverage. And like, thankfully I didn't stay long enough for it to get to the point where like he would be like, holding me hostage or holding me to do things in exchange for him paying for something, thank goodness. But it would be these very subtle things that he would say or subtle things that he would do. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I know that I know that there is like something to, you know what I mean, do. The way around it is to have your money so that way if you get tired of them, you can leave. Like honestly, the way around it is to have your own money. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. But like I said before, I don't, me personally, if I'm going to master the art of that, then I might as well master the art of making my own money, not master the art of wiggling around someone else giving it to me. Like women that want to do that, good for them. But me personally, it's because I have a purpose. You know what I mean? And there are some women whose purpose is to just get money from men and play the game their whole life. But that's not my purpose, right? That's not my purpose. And so, you know, I'm not going to master something that isn't, you know, purposeful. But there are women where that's what their purpose is. Somewhere in a past timeline, men did the family bloodline so bad that it's time for reparations, and so they have to pay. They have to pay to play. I decenter men when they all wanted to borrow money from you. Oh, child, that would be more than enough to make me. That would make me more than enough to want to decenter their asses. I wish I can have my own money and chain now. I try to escape, but it's very hard. It is hard when you don't have your own when you don't have your own money. Hell yeah. The thing about it is that nothing is free. Nothing is free. Ah, you're a Capricorn. That's why you're so grounded. Yep. There's always some strings attached when men give money to women. Always. Always. Dusty's in vicinity. Can you offer advice on resume writing and how to get hired in your field? So believe it or not, I believe there actually is there's a website called Resume Builder. Um I think it's like 30 bucks for you to use, but essentially they can like cater your resume based off of like what your profession is. So whenever I make my resume, that's actually what I would always use is Resume Builder. And like they would even based off of like your field, they'll already have like options that you can choose to put like in for like the descriptions of what you did for your job. Excuse me, a cover letter that you could choose from, like all different types of designs that you can choose from. It's like 30 bucks, but I mean, just think like depending on because really I just have one template for resume, and then what I do is that like I in the like the very top part of the resume where you kind of like are explaining what it is like about yourself, like your years of experience, stuff like that. I always just change the name of the company up top, but essentially your resume, what you're trying to evoke with your resume, because I think they say they only spend about 30 seconds. They only spend about 30 seconds looking at your resume. So like you want your resume to like be bold, like you do like want to design. I don't use like just plain white paper. I always use um a nice cute design for my resume. And essentially you're selling yourself, right? How if you want this company to hire you, why should they hire you? And then also always pay attention to the job listing. Pay attention to the job listing when they're posting the job and read what it is that what they're asking for. Your resume should be matching what the job description is, what the expectations are. Oh, nice. Brokering. Had a 68-year-old Dutch Italian back in 2013. Ooh, he probably was gorgeous. But latest all of 2 weeks because these men will pay for everything but use you for emotional dumping and telling you all the stuff they have accumulated. Yeah, it's the emotional labor. Honestly, it's the emotional labor. Exactly. Use the keywords in the job description. Exactly. And add statistics to reflect you will make the company more money. Yes, especially if you work in a job that operates on metrics. I work in the medical field, so we don't use optics or metrics so much. But if you work in something like sales, or you work into something where you like your rate of performance is based off of metrics, and um how much optimization that you were able to provide for the past jobs that you worked at, definitely put that on there. Ooh, nice. A disability case manager. Yes. Men make you think for them, mental capital. That's 100% what it is. That's the reason why they annoy me. That's the reason why it's like I just don't have the capacity. It's like I have too many things that I'm trying to work on. And that's another thing that allowed me to be able to decenter men. There are too many things that I'm working on. Okay. And the thing about it is that these men need to be able to stay busy. Like if you're a woman, okay, if you're a woman and like you're doing like your sprinkle or whatever, but you still have aspirations to like get things done, you need to make sure that the men that you're getting money from stay fucking busy. Okay. You need a busy man that's making money. You need a busy man that's making money that'll give you money while he's busy. Because that way you don't have to occupy your time with his ass, so that way he could be taking up your time when you could be focusing on things of your own. He needs to be so busy making money that you have enough free time to accomplish everything it is that you need to do. Don't just deal with some man that has money and he got all the free time in the world. That's another thing. That's I had to learn that early on with one of my sugar daddies from the past. Oh no. I was like, you have too much free time on your hands. You always want to see me and I'm in fucking school. I got out of a financially abusive relationship in a month. I got a job and in starting school. Good for you. Good for you. Because you got to remember, Sheer 7 is still a girl boss. Okay. I feel like people still overlook that. Sheer 7 is still a girl boss. Essentially, James was just a startup. James was a startup company. She married James as a startup company. And now her startup company has flourished into a business. Because that's what I did with stripping. All the men that gave me money and my sugar daddies, they paid for my college. Okay, they paid for my college. They invested into my startup. They did. They invested into my college degree. I should have added all their names to my college degree. They helped me get it. Mm-hmm. I had to let go of my men. He's a boring retired millionaire. I told him, unless I'm inheriting all of your wealth, I'm leaving. Yeah. It's like, I don't give a fuck how much money you make. I want to have access to the money. If I'm not seeing the money that I want to see from you being a millionaire, I don't give a fuck about you being a millionaire. And I would tell when I was working in the club, I would tell them, I'm like, I'm a struggling college student. That would be like one of my little fantasy plays. Like I would wear my hair in pigtails and I had on the little schoolgirl costume. And I'm like, I'm a struggling college student. And they actually believe me. They're like, no, they're like, you sound really intelligent. They're like, why are you here? Because that was another thing too. No one ever took me seriously in the strip club because I genuinely did not look like I belonged there. And so men would be like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "I'm a struggling college student." They're like, "You don't look like you belong here." And I'm like, "I don't belong here. I need to pay for my college." Plus, what he would give me, I make that myself in a few days, but I had to act like I don't. Right. This guy never believed the girls at the club. They were struggling college students, but you actually were one. I was so chatty and so knowledgeable with shit. There was no way that they could question if I went to college or not. Cause I was running circles around those men in intellect. I was serving around them. Oh girl, don't worry, Sapphire. I blocked him. People are going to learn that I have a zero tolerance for people like commenting dumb shit, messaging dumb shit. Like I have zero tolerance for that. Like they only have one time to like send some dumbass message or like, and they're out of here. Like if it's a man's profile, I could tell when a man is commenting something. I could tell when a man is commenting something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm on TikTok at the same time, so I blocked somebody on TikTok because I'm doing both live streams at the same time. I agree. Men always think, oh, hold on. Come on now. Okay. I agree. Men always think flaunting what they have will get you wet. It don't matter how much you have if you're not giving. Exactly. And there are still women that fall for that stuff. I'm dealing with a millionaire. I'm dealing with a millionaire. And I'm like, well, do you have anything to show for it? Do you have anything to show for you dealing with a millionaire aside from you just saying you're dealing with one? I don't know how you're still on TikTok. It feels like the Hunger Games is up there. Girl, actually, believe it or not, I came back to TikTok and they got rid of me being shadow banned. And so I'm actually not doing too bad over on TikTok. Honestly, I'm actually doing pretty well on TikTok. But yes, TikTok really is the Hunger Games. If you're going to say something critical, super chat it. Exactly. Most men out here don't have it like that. That's why they'll target young girls who still live with their parents who will be impressed by that $200 allowance. Grown women are like, what? So somebody sent me a video. I couldn't like creatively, I couldn't find a way to like segue into like how to make it into like a short form video. But essentially, it was this man pretty much saying that like women need to stay home with their parents until they get married. And he was trying to make it seem as if like a woman is not supposed to live on her own. She is supposed to stay living at home with her parents until she gets married. And then he said that a woman is not supposed to start traveling until she gets married. And a girl was like, he said that traveling is too masculine for a woman to like travel before she gets married. And there was a girl that had asked him in the comments, and she was like, so traveling isn't feminine? And he's like, no, it's masculine. And so I commented and I was like, well, if it's so masculine, then how come why is 86% of solo travelers women? Men don't fucking travel. Like what? He wasn't African. I think he was like Indian. The guy was like Indian. What's the most you made per day or per week at the strip club? Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I think the most I made in a week was probably about like five or $6,000 in a week. Yeah, how is like men don't travel often. Like men don't go out alone to restaurants. Like men don't do shit like that. Like come on. Now, mind you, I dance, like, that's the thing too. Like, so I danced from the ages of, I danced from the ages of 21 to 25, and I'm 32 now. So that was a ways, like a while ago, right? I don't know, like, dancing would be fun. Honestly, it would be fun. But I don't know. I also did OnlyFans for a while too. I did OnlyFans for a while. And the money on OnlyFans was pretty good too. Like honestly, the money on OnlyFans was good too. Like I was actually faring out pretty well on there too. 92. Yeah, that's why I said like I don't know how I would feel about dancing now. I mean, granted, I don't need to. I don't need to. Like, really, what I would like to do, like, I wouldn't go back to the club for money, but I would want to go to perform, and I wouldn't need to go to a strip club for that. Like, really, what my hope is to like become very like really skilled on the pole again, to where like I can go to like cabarets, right, and like perform at cabarets, perform at like themed lounges and stuff like that. Like that would be nice, right? Oh, I was such a cheap bitch when it came to tipping the bouncers and then paying the DJ. And I was so cheap. I was so cheap as a dancer. I would always come at the top of the shift for night shift. So like night shift started at 7 o'clock. Bitch, I started at 7 o'clock. I worked my full 8 hour shift. Like, I was never one of those girls. I was never one of those girls that like came in and started strolling in at like fucking 10 o'clock and then you got to pay the house fee of like $200, $300. Like, fuck that. Like, no, I'm coming in at 7 o'clock and I'm paying this funky little 80 ass dollars so I can make it right back. Like, no, I will exchange my time. Yeah, honestly, the for me, dancing was just I like getting on the pole. Like, I like performing. Like, I like the musicality. I like the flow. I genuinely like to dance and I love the sensuality. You know what I mean? So I would love to do something like cabaret or burlesque or something like that. It's so crazy, yes, that the aesthetic of the world is feminine. Men don't care about ambiance, scent, music, etc. in the absence of men. And here's the thing, it's getting worse. Like, honestly, it's getting worse. These men, like, it was like I said it in that video earlier I made when I was pretty much sponsoring the vibrator or whatever. That was one thing that I also started learning too about men. Like, when I had like a little stint in dating, my last like little stint in dating before I had got into a relationship and then broke up with him. These men don't have that, like, they don't understand the art of seduction. Like, as the generations keep going along, like, it's because men need media to tell them what to do. Like, have you guys not noticed that, like, okay, there's no 90s R&B anymore, right? Like, there's no serenading women anymore, right? So like, these men don't naturally inherently have that in them to be romantic. So if the media that they're taking in is not being reflective of them doing that, they're not going to fucking do it, right? And so it's just like there was one guy that I was talking to, and I was like we got really, really cool or whatever. And so I was like, I would love to do like a strip tease for you, and like I would love to like play like games and like do stuff like that. He was like, he would like get excited about it, but then at the same time, I felt like he was like very dismissive of the idea because it's just like he didn't understand like how to embrace and like look forward to like the seductive aspects of like not sleeping with someone. It's like these men don't have any reminders of like sensuality, eroticism, seduction, and things like that. And so all they do is watch corn, right? All they do is watch corn where they're just like, oh yeah, my hot stepsister, yeah. That's all they fucking see now. And so that's all they're thinking about. And it's just like, oh my God. Like, a lot of them don't care about lingerie anymore. A lot of them don't care about like being flirty and playing games and doing stuff like that. Like, a lot of them don't care about anything like that. And it's just like, no, like eroticism is dead. Like, it's 100% dead. It's so annoying. What kind of clubs would you recommend if you can't do work? Yeah, go to a gentleman's club. I only worked at a gentleman's club. I didn't work at them booty shaking clubs because I don't have the body and I don't have the ass shaking ability. And like, the thing about me is that I understand that I do have enough ambiguity. Like, I have just enough. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm completely racially ambiguous, but what I noticed through me dancing is that I had enough racial ambiguity to be able to work at a gentleman's club where like it was enough white men for me to be able to like kind of play. Because when I worked at the booty shaking urban clubs, I wasn't black enough. I wasn't black enough, okay? I wasn't black enough at those clubs. Now there is 50-50, and oh, you didn't text me first either. Exactly. Are we live? Has this been going on for a while? Yeah, I've been on live stream for like an hour. So there was one club, because the thing about it is that it's based off of what state you work in, right? So like there are some states that you might work in at the club and they don't allow nudity and liquor, right? So when I worked in Indiana, they didn't allow you to be full nude and have them serve liquor. So the club I worked at in Indiana, they would serve liquor, but you had to dance with pasties on and you had to keep bottoms on. In Illinois, you're allowed to be full nude and you're allowed to serve alcohol. So you don't have to like get full nude on stage or anything like that, but you they have an option for full nude dances, and those dances are obviously more money, so then obviously you get more of a cut from doing the full nude dances. That was another thing too, like dancing in like a full nude club, like it's crazy because so the pole class that I take, one of the pole classes that I take, I automatically, so like there was an overlap. There's an overlap with one of the classes. So when I come into my class, the class before is ending. And so as soon as I looked at the instructor, I was like, oh, she's definitely a stripper, because like that's one thing too about when you work at a full nude club, you are so ignorant to nudity. Like you're so desensitized to nudity because like she had on a shoestring. She was the instructor and she had on a shoestring. And then turns out that she actually does work in the club. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that was one thing. That was definitely a thing. I was like, yeah, it never bothered me like being naked or anything like that. Like I never cared. Yeah, that's why I'm celibate, because schmexually these men do not care. They don't handle women with like tender loving care, like honestly, like they don't. It's just men just they just want to hurry up and get it over with. Like they don't want to like I want to feel like if I'm sleeping with someone, they're like scrumptious or whatever the hell they say, like I want someone to like want to like devour me and like take me in and like actually like enjoy the moment. And it's just like, damn, man, like, oh, that's too fast. Do they wipe down the poles between dancers? We wipe the pole down. We wipe the pole down. Yeah, I'm like, what the? And then the thing about it is that like it will be very clear that these men don't like have experience. And so my thing is that like, okay, you don't know when you're going to find another woman to sleep with you, because it's like if you fuck this up, you're not getting a returning customer. That's what a lot of men don't realize. A lot like men don't realize how porn is just ruining everything for them. Okay. Men are so ignorant to the fact where it's like, how you perform and like how you do this is going to be a matter of if you get a repeat customer or not, right? Like I've literally dealt with men that are like, no, like this is serious, right? Like if I fuck this up, I'm literally going to be in a drought again, right? Like I would say a majority of the men that I've dealt with, that's how they think. That's how you're supposed to think. That's how you're supposed to think. Men are complaining all the time about how they don't have access to sleeping with women. Okay, well, if you don't know when you're going to sleep with a woman again, shouldn't you be thinking about how far you're going to go to impress her so that way you can have her back as a repeat customer? Because I say it all the time, the scared straight line. Your looks ain't gonna get you paid. Your looks ain't gonna get you pussy, sir. Okay, your looks ain't gonna get you paid. Okay, so you're gonna have to start all over if you don't know what it is that you're doing, and you're gonna have to wait and have a whole nother drought all over again because you didn't make sure that you knew what you were doing, and making sure that you actually put in the effort of what you need. And guess what? Now now you're gonna have to have a drought. Exactly. You're not that cute. Your hair is uneven. Now my ex is 57 and is still clueless. Child. You said they'll go for men. True. Use you like a blow up doll. Exactly. The hairline is fading. Yeah, like these men, the next time will be better. When do you want to hang out again? It's like, I don't even want to find out. What are you talking about? The next time will be better. What do you mean? And if you don't know how to use that rod, who cares if it's big? Okay, so I have a theory. Okay, I have a theory. So I'm sure this is a universal experience with women. Please, ladies, tell me, how do men take it when you say it's perfect? Like talking about the down there region. Don't men get offended when you say it's perfect? They get so offended when you say it's perfect. Okay, the reason why I feel as though they get so offended when you say it's perfect is because of that goddamn corn. Because they're watching this man's super big, I don't know, thruster meat. He's watching this man with this big long thruster meat, and he's impressed by the fact of how big it is. He's impressed that it's big because that's what all the men write in the comments too. All the men write in the comments like, "Oh yeah, that big old thing is like stretching her out," and all this crazy stuff that they'll be putting in the comments. And so I literally think that men, the only compliment that they can actually perceive as being good is just based off of size, because they're watching that content and it's zooming in on the male anatomy, and they're propping up in the title and how big it is and stuff like that. So when they hear it's perfect, they're upset because they're not hearing that it's big, because they're impressed by the size. Like that's what they deem to be impressive. And so they're like, what the. Yes, like I literally had to explain to this guy. I literally had to explain to this, cuz like when I told him perfect, like, oh my gosh, like you would have thought he just got told that he had a cancer diagnosis. Like it just the level of disappointment just washed all over his face when I told him that it was perfect. And so I had to explain to him, like, I really had to break it down and dissect it. And I'm like, you don't understand. I was like, you men only think about size. Like, you're literally only thinking about size. And I'm like, women are really scoring you like in the bedroom. We're literally scoring you on like a 10-point system. Okay. Like, corn has rotted y'all brains so much to the point where like you initially the first thing that you do is you correlate pleasure to size, because the only way that the only thing that the media is perpetuating that idea from is corn. There is, because women are not saying that, right? Women are not saying that, right? Women will talk about like noticing the size. Okay, women will definitely talk about that, because I mean, come on, like you're going to talk about anything big. Like if someone has a big head, if someone has big boobies, if someone has a big butt, like come on, like that's just human nature. You're going to talk about something that's big. But are women actually saying like, oh my God, like the best ones in the world are large and the best ones in the world are big? No, women are not regularly saying that. That's only perpetuated on those flicks. It's only perpetuated on those flicks because women are not saying that in mass. They're not saying that in mass. So it's 100% their projection based off of what they're watching in those videos. Only one man on this planet that had me actually praying to God. I was at a loss for words. The most sensual, patient, kind, and generous man I've ever met in my life. It's sad that it's so rare. Yes, like it just ruins men. It does, like watching that corn. And then once I really started dismantling how like damaging it is that they're watching that, and actually like what it's doing to their subconscious, and like how it actually does perpetuate for them to harm women, and for them to abuse women, like yeah, like I started thinking deeper and deeper about it, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, they're really like they're watching this stuff, paying more attention to the man, and then they're really only getting off of the fact of like this woman being in a vulnerable situation. Like that's what they're getting off on. Like they're getting off on the woman essentially being like harmed and being in a vulnerable situation. So that was like another thing that was just like I was just like, forget it. I'm gonna be celibate. Like, men have they have too much access to it. It's too easily accessible. They're so addicted to this stuff. It's ruining them. It's ruining them completely. You're right. Women aren't mentioning the shape, size, exact angle, smoothness, skin color, etc. Exactly. Yeah, they don't want to listen to women. They rather listen to another man lead them in the wrong direction. Right? They much rather listen to a man purposely sabotage their access to women as opposed to just listening to women and saying, "Hey, we don't like that shit. We don't want you to just jack. We don't want to lay down on the bed and just jackrabbit." Like one time, there was one guy and we were just laying down, and it was just boing, like I was just laying on the bed, and it was our like the first time that we were hanging out, and like I kid you not, we were just chilling watching TV, and then he got up and freaking pulled his pants down, and it was huge, and he was just boing, like it had like recoil, like it was crazy. I was like, what is going on? Like what is happening right now? Like what the? Plenty of women have stretch marks and tattoos at the club. Okay. Plenty of women have stretch marks and tattoos at the club. Men really don't care. And they honestly they keep the lighting so dark in there. They do. They keep the lighting so dark in there. Barely anyone could notice. Like the club lighting is like very, very flattering. Yeah, I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off. I'm like, what the freak? What the French toast is going on? He pissed me off. Wait, did he just stand up and do all of that in a few seconds? Yes, there was no kissing, there was no foreplay, there was nothing. Like, we weren't even facing each other. We were just laying down in his bed, facing the fucking TV. Facing the fucking TV. And then he literally just like, he was laying down still and he just pulled down his boxers and it was just boing. And I looked at him. It was so embarrassing because this was back when I used to smoke. This is back when I used to smoke. So I was high as shit. I was high as shit. And I literally looked at him and I was like, I my eyes got so big. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this. Like, he literally was expecting for me to just be laying there and for me to just like sleep with him. He literally was just expecting for me to just be turned on and be a faucet just from laying there. I literally looked at him and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And it was so awkward because the thing about it was that I was high as shit. I was too high. I couldn't like leave and walk out the house because I was like, bitch, like you can't drive like this. Okay? You can't fucking drive like this. Right? Exactly. Exactly. It's because if it's perfect, it doesn't hurt her. They pride themselves on hurting women. So this is the reason why. This is the reason why I got rid of my sneaky link. So this was another thing too. The performative niceness. This was a performative niceness, right? So did y'all do it? Honestly, yeah, I did end up doing it. I did. I ended up doing it later on. I did. I ended up doing it later on. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, we have to figure this out. But I did end up doing it. Oh, and guess what? I was thirsty to break my celibacy. So that was the experience that I went into breaking my first round of celibacy with. All of that for it to last 2 fucking minutes. So we're laying there and he goes boing. And then I turn him down. And then I'm like, okay, we can do this, but like we need to do it in a more normal way. And he lasted 2 minutes. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I was so mad. Like, I literally wanted to cry. I wanted to fucking cry. I was so mad because I was looking forward to it. I had been celibate for like 15 months and like he was someone that I knew. Like, I've literally known him for fucking 14 years. Like, it's actually somebody that I had known. And I was like, oh, I was so pissed. I was so pissed. So he actually did make up for it, but like I didn't make it easy for him. I didn't make it easy for him. I made him wait like a whole entire year. I made him spend money. I played a lot of games. I bragged on how another guy was better in bed. Like I did so much psychological manipulation to make sure that I got a return on my investment for him fucking doing that. Yeah, 2 minutes. I kid you not. 2 minutes. I was pissed. I was so mad. But it's okay. I got back at him. I did. I got back at him. So back to my old sneaky link that I just cut off like a few months ago. That is like that pretty much made me go celibate again. So I like his niceness was so performative, and like I knew his niceness was performative because like that's the thing. Like men are never going to do anything nice for you unless they can get something in return from you, right? And so like obviously he still wanted access to me whenever I was back in town because like he still wanted to sleep with me or whatever. And so he would be super nice. Like he would like get food for me or make food for me. Cause mind you, like he was just only a sneaky link. I would only see him when I was traveling back in town. So I don't even think we slept with each other 10 times over the course of the year. So he'd be very, very nice, like very, very like gentleman. Like he put my coat on for me, put my shoes on for me, like was like super sensual and super understanding and it wanted me to consent to every single thing. Very, very, very nice. But then like I've told the story so many times on this channel, but like he wasn't happy when I told him that I wanted to stay here in Florida and that I didn't and that I didn't have any plans to come back in town. So he was being let me know if it should still be up, but it kicked me it acted weird, right? So oh, he was talking about he was referring to how we were going to be sleeping with each other and he used so normally like he's always very sensual in bed and like all I had told him was that like I wanted us to do different positions but like he was a lot more aggressive. He was a lot more aggressive and like I remember like he did something that made me like so uncomfortable. So we were like drinking and we were sitting on his couch and like he took his hand and like he put it up to my neck and like that's the first time that like he ever had like did that where I didn't tell him to do it. It normally, like I said before, normally everything had to be consented. Every single thing had to be consented. And yeah, he put his hand up to my throat, right? And so no, it wasn't your phone. It's probably lagging a little bit because I think it's raining again because it's been like thundering and storming on and off. I got to get me a Wi-Fi extender. I do because I'm using a lot of Wi-Fi when I'm doing both. That's why it lags back and forth like this. But he put his hand up to my neck in himself or whatever. And so I was like, you were gonna like choke me or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, but he was like, no, like I'm not gonna do it or whatever. So that was weird. So then I ended up coming to Florida. He said that he pretty much said he wasn't happy for me to come to Florida. And then I'll never forget, this is when I knew I was gonna be done with his ass. He had said that he never talked like this, but he was pretty much saying something along the lines of like he wanted to destroy me, right? he said that he wanted to destroy me, and like he's never like talked like that. He's never talked like that. And I was like, destroy. I was like, what do you mean? I was like I didn't even, I was like, destroy. I was like, you mean pleasure me? I was like, I haven't been like doing it with you. I was like, I haven't been doing it with you for this long because you've been destroying me. Like, he's like, oh, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, that didn't come out the right way. He was like, yes, absolutely. I want to give you pleasure. And so I just started it like, that didn't sit well with me. Honestly, that didn't sit well with me. And I was just like, yeah, no, like, mm-mm. Once he like flipped that switch, like I said before, like they're good and like it's a good time with them until it's not a good time with them anymore. And like that's why I'm like, nope, I don't want to find out what it is that you're talking about. I don't want to find out. I've been reading When the Body Says No, and wow, not letting my husband stress me out anymore. The book is so sad, but it's very eye-opening. Yes, he said destroy. Yeah, he literally said destroy. Like he was literally talking about sleeping with me in a form of destroying me. And then the last time that I seen him, like 2 months prior, he put his neck up to my throat. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. Like, what the hell? And that's why I said before, no matter how kind they are to you, if they get once they get comfortable and once they really really feel as though like they have you locked in, that's when they're going to start trying to push the envelope. And like once you notice that like they're trying to push the envelope, you have to cut that shit off. Yep. And that's the thing too. I honestly think he was like starting to hate me. I really do think that he was starting to um hate me because he was like you're just so smart, and he was like I know you're going to like become someone like really big, and he was like you're just so intelligent, and like I know you have like a very like bright future like in front of you. And because I had asked him because the vibe was weird. Like the last time that we had hung out, the vibe was weird. And I know the vibe was weird because like I drank a whole bottle of wine. I drank a whole entire bottle of wine and I drank that shit fast too. I drank it within like an hour. And it was really more so for me to like overcome like the vibe because I had shit going on with my dad. It was just a horrible time. And so I had literally asked him, I was like, how do you feel about me? I was like, if you could express like what your feelings are toward me, or just like how, like, what vibe you get from me, how would you express it? And so he laughed before, and he was like, yeah, he was like, you're really smart and like you're really intelligent. And, I do know that you're going to have a bright future and, stuff like that. But it was just like how he said it. It was just how he said it that I was just kind of like, ooh, like I don't really think that he was actually, I didn't feel like it was like coming from a good place. And so that was another reason where I was just like, no, like, because like he knows that I like create content and stuff like that. So once I cut him off, I blocked him. I blocked him because so what was even crazier was that he came across my content while I was on TikTok like over a year ago. And so he actually would like follow my content on TikTok because he actually sent me a TikTok that came on his For You page of me and of my content. So I also believe because he could obviously see, the content that I was posting as well. And so I also think like him seeing my platform grow, and maybe he felt some type of way about the content that I was posting also. Yeah, like, and that's another reason why I don't date anymore, honestly. That's another reason why I don't date anymore because like with the platform that I'm growing, like I don't trust men, honestly. Bye, Elisheva. Enjoy dinner with your mom. Enjoy dinner with your mom. But yeah, I felt like he was but I blocked him off my TikTok. I blocked his number. I blocked everything because I just kind of feel as though it was getting to the point where he was like really trying to compete with me because I already was making more money than him just with my job alone. I was, and so I kind of felt as though um Yeah, I kind of felt like with my platforms growing and stuff like that, and him visibly being able to see that, he was starting to feel some type of way, you know what I mean, like about it. So I was like, no, I'm done. Aw, thank you. He was black. He was black. When you block people, do they ever make secret accounts and you figure it out? For the most part, like for the most part, excuse me. Here's the thing, right? Especially on YouTube, like it's so hard to be able to see because like you don't get notifications or anything on YouTube. So it's like it I can't see who's like following me on YouTube. It would only make sense if they were to comment. On TikTok, it makes a lot of sense for it to be spotted out easier because like they give you all the notifications and like I could scroll through my notifications a lot easier where I don't have the ability to really do that on YouTube. So, I mean, if they were making an account and they were watching me that way, perhaps, but this is why I stay heavy on the protection spells. Like with my platforms growing the way that they're growing, I take my protection spells so seriously. Maybe that's what I'll talk about next on the spiritual channel about what protection spells that I do. Because if you are someone that like you're ascending in your life and you're trying to make a change for the better, and you have people around you who they've only seen you in one form, they've only seen you in one way, and you're trying to break out of that, you really do need to do protection spells. Like you really need to do protection spells. Yes, Moonlight and Sage, yes. Thank you. It's so crazy. Society is viewing me so different with my natural hair. Like, and society views me so different with my natural hair. The my spiritual channel is Queen the Mystic. If you just go to my description on the link tree, I have it linked in the link tree. And yes, they do work. Protection spells definitely work. Protection spells definitely work. Yes, I had to move away to be myself. Exactly. Yes, it's so pretty. Oh my God. Thank you. How so? Tell us, sister. I mean, you can do it real easily. You can get some pink Himalayan salt, and in the shower, you literally can just simply do an exfoliant with pink Himalayan salt. And while you're putting it over your body, all you have to do is just say that, you know, I am divinely protected, you know, evil does not seek me, evil does not seek me out. I like to keep black obsidian on me. So like I like to keep black obsidian and pyrite on me. And so I will cleanse and then charge those crystals once a month. I take spiritual baths. So I like to take pink Himalayan salt, Van oil. You can learn how to make Van oil. That's a really good thing to use for protection. I'll put Van oil in there. And then I'll put like you can put things like rue, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, and like sometimes I'll even put the black obsidian in the bath with me. I actually put it because that's a water safe crystal. I actually put it in the bath with me. But pink Himalayan salt is like the easiest thing. Like pink Himalayan salt is super simple to use for protection. I become a straight natural sort of. So my mom's hair, so like my hair grows best when it's in its natural state and like I don't put any heat on it. My mom, she's been getting keratin treatments and that lady's hair is draping. I also believe it's her health too. She has like a very good bill of health and like she's been the healthiest that she's been in a while. So she's getting all the nutrients and stuff that she needs, which is also helping her hair growth. But my mom's been getting like she's been going to the Egyptians. The Egyptians do my mom's hair, and oh my God, it's like her hair is just getting longer and thicker and all that. Do you feel like not getting pregnant by a man easily or him being infertile is protection? 100%. The thing about it is that like your uterus, like I work in ultrasounds, so like you can imagine like how many miscarriages and things like that I've seen. And the thing about it is that like you're connected to spirit, right? Like your uterus is a conduit for maintaining natural order in the world. And so your uterus is not going to bring a life into the world that it does not see fit to bring into the world. Like, because you have to think like it's the man's genetics. And the thing about it is that like the man's genetics has to fight very hard to be worthy for your uterus to say, okay, cool. We're going to, the ovaries are going to help this baby be fertilized, and then we're going to have this baby go in the fallopian tubes and then drop into the uterus, and then we're going to have enough everything going on for the baby to now grow in the uterus. Like, because I work in OB-GYN, well, I do everything in ultrasound, but because I have knowledge of OB-GYN, I really do like understand the process of like what is really happening when you're making a baby, and how like if you weren't able to have one or like you miscarried or something like that, like I really do understand like how hard your body is working to maintain natural order. And if you couldn't get pregnant or you miscarried or something like that, like it isn't meant, it's not meant for that person. You know what I mean? It's not meant with that person. Have you ever seen a couple and see through him and you wish you could warn her? Honestly, I would say probably 98% of the women that are pregnant that come in with their boyfriends or husbands, I fucking hate them. I know they're going to be terrible fathers. I know that they really don't want to be there. I know that they really don't give a fuck. Like one time, I'll never forget this. One time I had a woman, she was in the ER and she was bleeding and she was pregnant. So obviously with her bleeding, she was afraid that she was going to be having a miscarriage, right? And so she had pretty much told her boyfriend, she was like, I'm so scared, like I hope we're able to keep the baby and yada yada yada. And like the boyfriend was just in his phone. He was just in his phone or whatever. And so she was kind of like asking me, because like we're not supposed to give the results. She essentially was asking me, um is everything okay like with the baby or whatever. And she was trying to like get more validation. She was really really trying to get validation from her boyfriend to like be happy if they found out that she was actually pregnant and that the baby was still alive or not. And so she was like, she's like, wouldn't you be so happy if like, if our baby was alive? And he was like, yeah. And so I had told her, I said, well, I have good news for you. I was like, everything looks fine. And you're going to, your baby is healthy and everything's fine or whatever. And he was like, oh my God, you mean to tell me the baby's still alive? That's what his reaction was. It like he always said, oh my God, you mean to tell me the baby's still alive? So obviously he wanted her to miscarry. Like obviously he didn't want her to actually have the baby. And I would say that, like, honestly, like, I would say, like, there's a decent amount of men who legit have that energy. Like, they're hoping, like, they really are hoping that, like, she is having some complication where, like, she can't have the baby. I would say that was the main thing that got me to become child free was with my experiences in ultrasound. Oh, girl, I did bodybuilding. The men stay competing with me in the fucking gym. I used to have a lot of trauma for not becoming a mom. Now I understand spiritually I wasn't supposed to. My body rejected my ex-husband's semen, turned out abusive. Exactly. Your body knows a good person from a bad person enough to be able to um reject them, to not allow them to come into a situation like that. Yes, Angelica, it's too easy for people to become jealous. And knowing myself, I'm destined to continue walking down a lonely path. I'm used to it though. I find community when and where I want. That's where I'm at. I already knew, like, here's the thing. If you are a woman who is really on a path of like ascension, and you are on the path of greatness, and like you really want to do some shit in this world, like you want to gain fame, or you want to gain knowledge, or you want to have accolades, you want to be highly accomplished, you want to be known for something, you're going to have to get comfortable with the fact that like you have to give something, right? You have to give something to the universe, you have to give something to the spirit world. And for a lot of people, you're going to have to give up your friends, you're going to have to give up how close you are with your family, you're going to have to give up the comfortability you have of living in your hometown. Like you're going to have to offer up something. And like for me to be able to like have a platform, and for me to be able to like do as well as I'm doing with content creating, like I had to give up my friends. Like I had to give up my friends. I had to give up pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? Honestly, I had to pretty much give up everybody. I don't talk to anybody. I don't deal with anybody. I walk on a lonely path, but the thing about it is that a lot of the time you're going to realize that when you have people tethered to you, when you're trying to go on the path of ascension, a lot of them are anchors. A lot of them are going to be anchors. They're going to hold you down, and they're going to hold you back. Not surprised. My best friend miscarried a few times, and she is married to this man. They have a son, and he doesn't want to help take care of him, and she's considering having more kids. Oh my God. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can tell that when her boyfriend has said that, I could tell she was disappointed. Honestly, I could tell she was disappointed. But the thing that like really kills me when it comes to like women having children is it's just like men are not having the same experience. Like they're not the one growing the baby inside of them. Like, and men don't have any empathy. So like they don't feel anything. Like they don't feel a single thing when they see a woman pregnant. Like they're not thinking about the pain. They're not thinking about the hormonal changes. They're not thinking about the responsibility. Men are having a completely different experience. So it really like hurts when I hear women that are with men, and like they're married to men, and like they have a child with him, and he clearly isn't being like a father or fatherly at all, and they want to have more children with him, because it's like, girl, you're projecting a whole different experience onto them, an experience that they're not having, and that they're not going to embrace. Like men don't embrace fatherhood. Like the baby didn't grow inside of them. Like for like honestly, I would, the best way that I would say it is that, and like it's gonna sound so mean, but like I'm just keeping it real. Like I really want to paint, I want to put the perspective like really clear. Like when a woman has a baby, like she grew the baby inside of her, right? Like she's always going to be connected to her child. Like that's why they call it mother's intuition, because there's something internal from you growing that baby inside of you that has you so closely connected to that child, where you're able to have a sense of what is going on with your child. Like that's powerful. That's powerful. When men become fathers, when men become fathers, it's like them having a cousin, or like a nephew. Like that's the best way that I could put it. Like a woman having a child is like her having a twin, right? A man becoming a father is like him having like a cousin or a nephew. Like it's someone there, but there's just such a higher level of like detachment in relation from the person, because like they're not connected. Like they're not connected in that way for them to really take it seriously. And like that was something that I always knew. That was something that I always knew when it came to like children and how men view children. Like, no, that's not their baby. That they're not looking at it like that's their baby. It's their fucking cousin or their nephew, honestly. Wow, these are very real experiences you've witnessed. You cite this in addition to your S work. Yep. Do you go out on weekends at all? Girl, no. I don't. I'm not a partier. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I mean, I do stuff, but like I don't really go out like in a crowd or people. Like I'm a recluse, honestly. I'm a recluse. I like making money. I like getting active. I like getting smarter. And I like getting pretty. That's about it. For some men, their kids are like strangers at a grocery store. I'm telling you, honestly, they really are. They really are strangers. Have you seen the video where the woman was on the floor with labor pains and the husband boyfriend was telling her that the pain wasn't as bad as she made it out to be? And essentially, what that is projection. That's projection because guess what? That's what men get told. That's what that's what men are conditioned to respond with because when they were a child, when they were a little boy and they were screaming and complaining about being in pain, their mother and their father told them, "You're not in that much pain. You're a big boy. Get over it and stop crying and quit complaining about it." And so that's the reason why they're jealous of women being able to have the freedom to be emotional because men conditioned they're not they're societally conditioned to not have any emotion, and so that's the reason why that was another reason why I decentered them. They are conditioned to not care about pain or emotions or anything like that because they've had to suppress it, and when they project that onto women, it's terrible. It's horrible. It's like the worst feeling ever. Like, no, like that's the reason why they want to like that's the reason why they feel as though suffering is so normal because that's patriarchal. Patriarchy teaches men that you're supposed to embrace suffering. You're not supposed to complain. You're supposed to take your depression and all of your anger and stuff like you're supposed to take that in stride and you're not supposed to complain about it and you're not supposed to let anybody see it. So when they see women outwardly expressing this stuff, it makes them feel uncomfortable. It makes them feel uncomfortable because they have to resort to what they were told about, pain and rejection and anger and emotions that they're not comfortable with. This is the reason why, honestly, men and women are not compatible. Most of them, most men and women are not compatible. And that's the number one reason why that we're not compatible because the way we've been conditioned where men are taught to not sit with their emotions and like actually want to be vulnerable and like actually want to be open, it harms other people. It's very harmful. How about to the women that got told the same, but we dealt and worked through it? I mean, my thing is this is that at the end of the day, you're still allowed to have emotion over the situation. So this is the reason why men resent women. This is the reason why a lot of men are jealous of women because you get to work through it, but you still get to complain about it. You still get to complain about it, and somebody else is going to be able to listen to you and not tell you that you are a pussy or that you're weak or that you need to man up. Like, I would say if there was anything that men are the most jealous about, it's that. It's that. That's the reason why they're propping up this whole male loneliness epidemic thing. The reason why they're propping up this male loneliness epidemic thing is because after decades and centuries of repression and them upholding patriarchy, they now all of a sudden over the past few years, well, men have emotions and women need to honor men's emotions. And it's like, no, you all want to decide, you all want to pick and choose when it's convenient that you all of a sudden want to show your emotions when in reality it's like these dumb ass surface level emotions. Like it's not even stuff that you can even take seriously. Oh yeah, men are huge babies. They can't handle pain. They have no tolerance to discomfort. They can't handle being uncomfortable. They're huge babies. I can't stand, like, honestly, for a lot of them, it's like, oh my goodness, like, there's some of them I can't stand because they're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm just like, oh my God. Exactly. Women can always find community, and it's because of that, because we're able to be emotional and we're able to be vulnerable. Men tend to be so mean spirited and angry because they are repressing all of these negative emotions. You were deaf gifted and put on this earth to learn all this, create and teach other women. You're so good at seeing both sides. Thank you. The healthier path is for men to relinquish the power they have under patriarchy. Okay, that's the only path, and they refuse to go down that path. They are not ready to relinquish the power that they have under patriarchy. Men getting a blood draw. My ex drove me to the OB-GYN appointment, sat in the waiting room, and refused to see the doc with me. Then he watched me pay a $900 OB-GYN pill and drove me home. What was the point of him coming? I would have been like, bro, I could have drove myself if I could have drove myself for you to just not come in, right? For you to just not come in and then not help me pay. Fuck that. No. Aw, thank you. I took a class last weekend about how to read tarot, and there weren't any men in class, and it was delightful. Oh, that sounds like pure bliss. That sounds like pure bliss. That's the reason why I love, like, oh, I told you guys a story about how I went to that metaphysical store, and I was so pissed off because it was a man that was working at the metaphysical store. Only a man working at the metaphysical store. If it's like a couple, like a hetero couple, that doesn't bother me because there's still a woman in there. But it was a man in there, and he's like, yeah, I'm the son. He was like, my mother owns this place, but she's not working right now. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I actually want to go back because it's a really, really good store. But I'm afraid to go back because I don't want to see him there. His vibe was just, oh, I hated his vibe. He was like, "Were you the one that called earlier saying that you were on the way?" I'm like, "No." And then the next lady that came in, he was like, "Were you the lady that called that said that you were on the way?" And I'm like, "Why the fuck is he asking everybody that? Like, was it some woman with a sexy voice and like he's hoping that she comes in because he wants to see how she looks? Like, why is he asking us that?" Yes, and like they probably were playing with all the shit and just being immature and being stupid. Like they ruin everything. They ruin everything. Do you think there'll ever be a solution to men's BS in our lifetime? I mean, on a personal level, besides you just like not dealing with them, I mean, the thing about it is that like it's going to take for women to like individually decide to not deal with them for there to be a collective change with men. Like they don't call it punani power for no reason. Okay, women hold a lot of power over what's happening with men. That's why men are getting upset. I'm not even going to be on here much longer to do a call in. Yeah, I thought, especially in a metaphysical, especially in like a metaphysical or like spiritual store, like something that is so feminine and like so sacred and stuff like that. It's like, oh my fucking God, like, why are men here? Exactly. The men are gonna be men. I just feel as though as long as you keep them at arm's length, they'll figure it out. My sister's boyfriend has broken up with her 3 times and she keeps going back. Why do men do this? To create an emotional attachment through discarding you and then picking you back up. That's a very toxic relationship. He's emotionally manipulating her. He's emotionally and mentally manipulating her. When someone is constantly breaking up over and over with you, and it's this cycle of you all breaking up and getting back together, breaking up and getting back together, that's toxic. Wait, you wanted to do a call in? I want to call in sometime when I'm put together. Oh my God, you should schedule these call ins. Okay. So maybe next Friday we can do a call-in show. We could do a call-in show. I would put my makeup on and everything. Okay, we could do a call-in on Friday. Like, he's kicked her out of the apartment 3 times. Also, he has a newborn with his ex. Oh my god, that man sounds terrible. That man sounds like the devil. A call-in show is when, like, I put a link. I just put a link in, like, the messages, and then you all click the link, and you just hang out backstage, and then I just add people to, the live stream, and then we can, like, chat and stuff on the live stream. Exactly. Women are so powerful, and with great power comes even more responsibility. And so we have to blame ourselves and do the inner work if we want better. Men are infants. We've been here longer. Exactly. Exactly. I'm ugly now, but I have a story. Girl, you're not ugly. Yeah, come back on Friday. Come back on Friday if you're available, and then we'll do a call in. I'll probably be on here for like 20 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get off. Because the thing about the call-ins, ooh, I will have to make it a full dedicated call-in show. Like, I feel like I couldn't even make it a call-in at like the very end. Hi. In Arab countries, isn't safe for women. We can't live alone if we don't have man, father, brother, son. That's horrible. This is the only live I've sat through. Oh, well, I'm glad that it's entertaining for you to sit through it. And he was able to tell all his friends and family how supportive he was because he drove. See, that's the shit that bothers me. Like, honestly, um, men, that's the reason why men don't hold other men accountable. I need to do a live stream episode about this, but so that's the reason why, like, when men do very dangerous things, like when they unalive people, they R word people, they stalk people, they harass people. This is the reason why men don't hold other men accountable when they do very like treacherous and very evil things to people, is because it keeps the bar very low. So, like, if your biggest fear with a man is unaliving you, if your biggest fear with a man is unaliving you, like, you're naturally going to be very happy when a man just simply takes you to your doctor's appointment when you're pregnant, because it's just like, at least he didn't unalive me. That's the reason why they keep the bar low like that. Wait, for real? Women can't live alone in UAE? I don't know. Someone wrote it on TikTok. Aw, your lies recharge me every time, if that makes sense. I'm glad. I told this guy men don't hold men accountable. He said I sound like an old lady. That's another thing, too. Like, their comebacks and their talking points are so weak. Like, like, that's such a weak talking point. Like, do you know how dumb you have to be to even have that be your response in your brain to being told that men don't hold men accountable? People with an actual intellect are going to be like, well, men don't hold men accountable because, like, they wouldn't say, like, you sound like an old lady. Like, what are you, a fifth grader? Like, that's what a fifth grader would say. You sound like an old lady. Like, that's another thing that fucking annoys me about them. Like, their level of intellect is so low. Like, it is so hard to be able to have a conversation with them that actually can be very profound, and that actually will have me leave the conversation with more clarity and more understanding. Like, a lot of the time, like with most men, when I'm having a conversation with them, it's just like, in their brain there's nothing up there, like, it's so empty, and it's just like me having to be more inquisitive, and like me having to ask more questions. And it's like, that's the reason why women tend to talk a lot more, and like men say that women are really talkative. Well, the reason why women are really talkative is because men don't have the brain capacity to have a conversation that is actually like fulfilling and actually stimulating. Like, they don't have the mental capacity to be able to do it. Oh, you're welcome. Exactly. And that's the thing. When men's views are challenged, or when you start calling them on their bullshit and you start being honest and being truthful about something, that's where the insults come. And the insults will come out of left field. The insults will come out of left field. Like, yeah, like, did you know that 98% of crimes committed worldwide are by men? Well, you have a flat ass. It's like, what the fuck? Like that's literally the interaction with men whenever you say something truthful and honest. One time a man said to me that he didn't like texting because it's too hard to read. He can't spell, doesn't know the difference between your and your, and doesn't think it makes a difference. Like literally, you'll tell men a fact, an absolute fact. Or, and then you want to know another dumb thing that they do that I can't stand? You want to know another thing that I can't do that I can't stand? They won't even know anything about you, and then they'll project an insult on you. So you'll be like, yeah, like I don't like dating men because like these men have no money. Well, that's why you're a single mother. And it's like, bro, you don't even know me. I don't have any fucking kids. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's why I'm a baby mama. Like, like they just do these left field shit. Like they assume they're just gonna say that every woman is a baby mama just to comfort themselves. Damn, he's still living with his in-laws. That's crazy. That's crazy. I had one patient. She said that her two sons, who are 40 fucking plus, live with her. And she says she is so tired of them living at home with her. She's like, I can't. She's like, I'm ready for them to get the fuck out of my house because they got divorces. It's so crazy. It's like that's how you know that when men get married, they're literally just looking for a mother figure that they can bang. Honestly, they're just looking for a woman that reminds them of their mother that they can bang. Because as soon as they get divorced or they have some financial trouble, they're gonna go right back in with their mother or their grandmother and then just live with her. And then they won't even question leaving. Do you have pregnant patients that really seem like they are going through it? Um, yeah. I think that's another thing too. Like, because pregnancy is supposed to be seen as like this wonderful experience, I think a lot of women energetically in their aura, I could tell they're not having a good experience, whether it be the pregnancy itself or whether it be the pregnancy in combination with who the father is, or maybe a combination of both or either or. But I think women are afraid to actually express it because it's just this like societal norm where it's like you should be grateful you're having a baby. You know, it's a monolithic experience for every woman. It's supposed to be a monolithic experience for every woman, and it's like, but it's not. And so I think women, like, they're afraid of like the shame that would come along and like the guilt that would come along if they actually were to admit like, I'm not having a good time. Like, I'm not enjoying this. That's the same reason why they don't know what they want on everything. Exactly. Mommy, place my order. Me, this guy is blue, him. That's why nobody wants you. Yes, it's like it's so crazy. Like their brain only works in lust, in insults. Honestly, like men's brains only have two modes: lustful things, and then insults. They come at you lustfully, and then when that doesn't work out, they go to insults. People were born with we're born with a left and a right brain. Men are You're born with a left side and a right side, like your more logical side and then your more creative side. Yeah, men are born with the left and right side, a lustful side, and then a side that's just mean and wants to insult everybody. Those are the two brain sides of a man. A guy wrote on TikTok, "I won't insult you," blocked. He thought commenting, "I won't insult you," would keep him in the live stream. Blocked. Like, I'm so serious when I mean it when I block these XYs. Like, all they do is cause a lot of them. All they do is cause trouble. All they do is cause trouble. Like, just send some money or a gift or something. This is why you never let a man move in with you, son, husband, friend, etc. I would go as far as to say that's why you don't live with the asses at all. Like, I was just watching a TikTok video of the girl saying that she hates the man that she lives with, and like he did everything perfect. Like, he bought her a home, had her pick out the furniture. Like, she literally said that he legit was so charming, like legit Prince Charming when they met, and was super nice. And as soon as they started living with each other, she said that she hates his ass. She said that he's mean, he's evil, like he's turned into a completely different person. I've never wanted to live with men. Just me hanging out with like one of my exes on the weekend, I'm like, I would never do this shit regularly. He got mad because he's the XY. Why do they think you care what they do? You have boundaries in your firm with them. No means no me. Yes, like I don't want any fucking men. Like, I don't want anybody in here. I saw a man burned a lady with petrol. Oh my God, that's terrible. Yes, I want to live in a community with women. Like my God, like the men can just be so much. And like I said before, like it isn't even like I hate them, because I feel like hating them would like make me to cause like or want something harmful to happen to them. And like I don't want anything bad to happen to men. It's just I want men to just leave us alone. Like I only want them to leave us alone, unless they're like genuinely like learning or contributing something or offering something, and then after they offer it, like just leave us alone. Like, there is no need for there to really be a whole lot to it, you know what I mean? And it's just like I just want to be left alone. Now, overall, men leave me alone, they don't bother me. But can you explain your perspective on trauma bonds? Essentially what trauma bonds are. So this is the first thing, okay? Your trauma, it should only really be known to you in like a trusted professional in a journal, okay? The issue with a lot of women is that, because the thing about it is that women have to get better at viewing the world through the lens of men for them to better understand how their lived experience is versus a man's lived experience, because men aren't allowed to be open with their trauma. They're not, and women are. So women are having an experience thinking like, oh, well, my openness and my vulnerability will create more intimacy and it will create more closeness with us. For a lot of men, like I question even the trauma information that they're giving. I really do question it. Because most of the time, if men are going to be forthcoming with trauma, it most likely is because they have some type of ulterior motive. They have something, there's something underhanded that they're trying to do with the information that you gave them. And so really a trauma bond is women want to be, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to be empathized with. And so the reason why that's dangerous is because men will trauma bond with you under that guise, And what's going to happen is that then you end up having a relationship with them under shared trauma, okay, under shared trauma, when in reality, a lot of the time, the man is just using it for, like, he's using it to gain access to you. Like, men don't actually look at women's trauma and humanize them based off of their trauma, right? Um, for men, trauma is not a human experience. That's the reason why, like, they always say for women, it's your trauma, it's your trauma. You never hear men attributing how they are acting to trauma, because in their brain, they're so masculine and they can overcome anything that they don't even have trauma. That's why they always say women have trauma. It's your trauma, it's your trauma. To them, women are the flawed people who just have all of these horrible experiences and they deserve it and they're doing something wrong for all of that to happen. No, trauma, to me, trauma bonding is it, to me, it's a form of psychological abuse. I would actually go that far. It's a form of psychological abuse that men use, in my opinion. This is why you shouldn't tell them anything. You shouldn't tell them any of your trauma, because they don't care. They don't care. It's just a tool in their arsenal. That's what I think. Aw, thank you. Can there be a trauma bond without telling the trauma to each other? Um, it could be based off of, like, maybe how they react to people. Um, I would say you can have, I could say you could probably have a trauma bond based off of, like, emotional reactions. I talk about my emotions with Def Daddy. Like, I feel as though, like, if you're a crash out and another person is a crash out, then, like, yeah, that could very well be a trauma bond. This is the reason why emotional regulation is so important. That is the reason why, as a woman, once you become emotionally regulated, you're going to see that men are not you're not going to be very fun to men. Men are going to perceive you to be boring when you know how to emotionally regulate, because essentially you being driven based off of your emotion, they can do something with that, right? they can they can psychologically use that against you when you are very reactive emotionally. When you can actually emotionally regulate, and you are not a crash out and you are not responsive when it comes to what it is that you're responding to emotionally, men are going to have a hard time dealing with you. What is your thoughts on ending soul ties? Um, I don't really have any thoughts. I don't really have any thoughts on ending soul ties. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel as though I feel like calling it a soul tie makes it seem as if it's like this thing that's just like so much bigger, right? Like so much bigger than you, when in reality, like, it's not. Like, the way to break a soul tie is to just stop contacting the person. Like, I feel as though calling it, because the thing about it is that most of y'all are not in a soul tie. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, okay? Most of y'all are not in a soul tie. Most of y'all were just emotionally manipulated to like somebody, okay? You were suckered into liking somebody that normally you wouldn't like anyway, and you just have invested a lot into liking a person. Most of y'all are not in a soul tie, okay? Because normally a soul tie would not, usually a soul tie is not going to be like this traumatic thing, and like this thing that is just like having a hold on you. Like, no, like, that was, you were manipulated, okay? You were psychologically fucked with. Exactly. Then ask women who hurt you. Exactly. Makes no sense. Yes, it definitely is a thing, just not something extreme, but yes, I agree. Yeah, like, because let y'all tell it, y'all all got a soul tie. But no, if y'all all got a soul tie, how come y'all ain't got a soul mate? Y'all can tie a soul, but you can't mate one. Come on now, what's going on? What's going on? Does being celibate bring more abundance to your life? It can. It can if you redirect your energy that you're gaining from being celibate because you're not giving it to other people. Like, because I'm celibate, whenever I self pleasure, like, that's actually when I manifest things, right? That's actually when, like, I do a lot of like my energetic work, because you're able to harvest and harness a lot of energy when you're doing self pleasure instead of giving it to somebody else. I even married myself. That's what I want to do. I'm telling you, I'm gonna marry myself. Wound cleansing is necessary, but yeah, soul ties is a game, just like marriage. Yes. On one of Shira's lives, a man asked her, "Who hurt you?" And she immediately said, "Dr. Conrad Murray." Can I get a congratulations, girl? Congratulations, girl. I know your finger sore from that rock you put on yourself. I'm hollering Dr. Conrad Murray. I'm hollering. If y'all didn't know, that's the man that killed Michael Jackson, and y'all know Shira is obsessed with Michael Jackson. She said the same thing when someone said, "Have you ever had your heart broken?" And she said, "Yeah, I had my heart broken." And she gave the date that Michael Jackson died. She was like, "Yeah," she's like this. She's like, "The day my heart broke." And yes, she did. She gave the day Michael Jackson died. My ring is quite heavy though. Thank you, girl. I bet it is. Everybody around you probably got to get sunglasses. She said it so fast, like right away. I was floored. Yep, that's coming up June 25th. Yeah, that's so funny. Shear's always going to tie something to Michael Jackson. Always. She's always going to tie something around to Michael Jackson. I'm surprised she ain't come to Gary, Indiana, because that's where I'm from. I'm literally from the same. I'm literally from the same exact place that Michael Jackson was born. Dang, your anniversary came up. What are you gonna do? I travel for work. I came here for some money, but I think I'm gonna stay because I like it here. I'm eating trail mix. It's this Target caramel, ooh, Caramel cashew trail mix. I couldn't eat anything crunchy from my gum grab, so it's nice to have crunchy food again. Can you give tips on moving out? Sorry. I would start looking for places, looking at areas that you feel as though you can afford. That's also relatively safe. That's also close to where it is that you may have to work, or, whatever your regular commute is. And I would start saving. Honestly, I literally would be head down for 6 months, like working, picking up overtime, not going out, not spending any money outside of the necessities. And like, I would literally keep my head down for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Damn. Michael Jackson made $600 million. He made it dead. See, here in Florida, they have rice cakes. They have the salt and lime rice cakes. Oh my God. I bought a bag today. I cannot wait to eat them. Thank you. I know Michael Jackson from his grave going, hee hee, you niggas broke. I'm in Florida. Are you talking about those little pea chips? They're kind of like long. Those are so good. I used to get I think they had them in are they called Snappia? I believe the brand I used to eat of those is called Snappia. Okay. Hee hee. My favorite color. Pink is my favorite color. Blue is my favorite primary color. Oh, I love banana chips. I love plantain chips too. I was gonna get some plantain chips, but I'm like, no, girl. You don't need all that shit in your house. Because I also got have you guys ever tried the Drizzlelicious? Have you ever tried the Drizzlelicious little mini rice cakes? The birthday cake ones? Oh my God, they're so good. They're in like a brown little bag, and the brand is called Drizzlelicious. I bought me some of those too. Oh, it's plantain? Okay, my bad. Plantain. I work with a woman from Trinidad too. She probably would have killed me if I said plantain. The grocery store. I do that in winter as a nurse and go outside in the summer. I like the caramel ones, they're really good. I haven't tried the caramel ones yet. I had the s'mores ones, those are good. And then One day I went to the grocery store and they didn't have the s'mores ones, they only had the birthday cake ones. And I was like, okay, the birthday cake ones are better than the s'mores one. They had them on sale for 2 for $7, as if that's fucking cheap. Like 2 for $7 for those little bags of rice cakes, like that is fucking actually ridiculous. But I was like, maybe I should get one birthday cake and then one caramel. But I was like, ugh. I'm like, I haven't been able to have anything crunchy in a while. And I'm like, I don't want to get let down. So I was like, next time. Next time. Someone said plantain. On TikTok, they're strict, y'all. On TikTok, because I'm on TikTok live too. On TikTok, they're strict. Like I made 2 videos talking about Halle Bailey, but in the video I said Haley Bailey. They were like, it's Halle. I'm like, damn, okay, I'm sorry. Shit. Damn. Ooh, I like toffee too. Toffee's so good. Trader Joe's has chocolate covered. I don't know. Somebody said plantain. One thing on TikTok, boy, on TikTok, they're gonna correct you and like say it the right shit that you're supposed to. Like on TikTok, you're not allowed to make any mistakes. On TikTok, you ain't allowed to make any mistakes because somebody is going to correct you. Heath bars are so good. So good. I like Butterfingers too. It's like I have to consciously think because like that's that's such a weird name, like because you want it to rhyme. Haley Bailey. You know, I think naturally you want it to rhyme, but it's like, no, it's Halle, but it's so close to Halle Berry. So it's like Halle Bailey. It just sounds too close to Halle Berry. I haven't tried the chocolate covered strawberry popcorn from Trader Joe's. Oh yeah, scores are good too. Aw, good night. I haven't had score bar in a while. I haven't had score, but I love me. But scores are good, Heath bars are good, and then I like Butterfinger too. Anything sticky, anything crunchy that will stick to my teeth, I like. Yeah, I'm used to Halle Berry, so I'm like, wait, Halle Bailey. I just don't want it to sound close to Halle Berry, so I think naturally I just say Haley Bailey. I don't be seeing Butterfingers at Wawa anymore. I think the chocolate is better on the Heath bar than Score. It's thicker. I think the chocolate on the Heath bar is a little bit thicker. I hate wafers. You want to know what you want to know they had to have changed their formula, but like all of the Little Debbie snacks, like I swear to God, like Little Debbie, like I don't know if like they were bought out or something, or um they had like a chemical change or something, but like I remember when I used to love like all the Little Debbie stuff, like I used to love the nutty bars, and like the nutty bars taste terrible. Like the peanut butter would like it's always dry. The chocolate tastes like super super weird. Um Oat milk cream pies to me like they don't taste the same. Um the fudge rounds. The fudge rounds don't taste the same to me. Like, because I used to eat all of that Little Debbie shit growing up. I was so obsessed with all of the Little Debbie stuff. Yeah, Little Debbie's disgusting now. Yeah, the cosmic brownies suck. The cosmic brownies are so disgusting. Yes, the honey buns suck. Like all of like the childhood stuff. All of my childhood food. All of my childhood food, man. None of that stuff tastes the same. How do you manage to type on keyboard with super long nails? I go. Me too. I'm the same thing. Yep. No seed oil, no dye, none of that. I try to eat everything like as natural as possible. I try to, but I had to go crazy on some snacks because I did want crunchy. Crunchy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. Your girl is tired. Your girl's tired. Oh, really quick before I get off, the whole Tyler Perry thing is so funny to me because I literally, as soon as that Tyler Perry stuff happened, I kid you not, I had watched the Boondocks and I literally had seen that Tyler Perry episode on the Boondocks the day before like all of those allegations came out. I was like, not me watching the Boondocks and the shit really is happening. I can't even enjoy a bag of salt and vinegar chips anymore because the companies don't make the same. Those salt and vinegar chips, the only ones that I can have are the kettle cooked ones in like that dark blue bag. That's the only form of like salt and vinegar chip that I can have. But if it's like a Lay's salt and vinegar, they have like hydrogenated oils in that in Lay's now, and it tastes terrible. It tastes absolutely terrible. But y'all, I'm going to get off of here. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys next Wednesday on our live stream. And of course, you'll still see my face because I'll be posting, obviously. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.